3 massive home buyer mistakes that buyers are still making every single month, and I see this every single month, and we're gonna go over them and how to avoid them. Hey all, my name is Mike Perna. I've been a real estate agent for 24 years, and I know I don't look old enough to be in the business for that long, for like decades or 2.5 decades. I make this look good, right? No, I'm just kidding, but I have been making videos for buyers and sellers about Metro Detroit, including things to do in specific areas and tips and tricks and checklists for over 3 years. In the 24-year time, I've helped over 8,000 home buyers and sellers, and I get 3 to 4 people reach out to me for help with their home purchase right from this YouTube channel. Please reach out if you're getting ready to make a move. I am here for you. Also, I get a ton of calls through sites like Zillow or realtor.com, and in fact, we have the largest Zillow footprint in Metro Detroit. So I have a lot of experience working with people that know me, and also people that don't know me. They're new to me from either the YouTube channel or Zillow or other marketing outlets. Through all of these conversations, whether it's with a first-time home buyer or third-time home buyers, I see people make mistakes, a lot of mistakes. And if you're thinking about buying a home anywhere in the next year, this video is for you. Bookmark it, and my hope is that you at least get one, hopefully more than one, but at least one tactic to avoid a mistake that can cost you thousands. Also, while we're here, subscribe to the channel and also hit the like button on this video. It helps the YouTube algorithm get this video out to more people and the right people who could really use it. And thank you, I'm super grateful. All right, grab a pen and a notepad to take notes, and here we go. Okay, here's the one I see people continually make over and over, which is why we're gonna start with this one first, and that's looking at homes too late. So the idea of I wanna buy a house comes into your head, and you decide to call a mentor of yours, a parent, a good friend that's been through the home buying process a couple of times, you know, someone you trust. And they're gonna walk you through the process and say, this is who I recommend. They're not gonna set you up with a real estate agent or a lender right away, but they are going to give you kind of a checklist, a to-do list on what to do to get ready, and then a letter later on send you on to their trusted agent. Or you find someone like myself on YouTube where you're going through someone's videos and there's a level of trust built up from the outpouring of advice, the transparency, the patience, the knowledge that you can feel in that person. So those last 3 things are what you should be looking for in an agent. While this makes the most sense, it's also the great minority of people, not the majority of people, that follow that process. So here's what most people do. They're living their life, going about their business, and then all of a sudden, someone needs to buy a home fast because your landlord isn't going to renew your lease, living where you're living, you're tripping over your spouse and kids, and the frustration has just been building and just snaps. And then what most people do, and go ahead, I want you to guess on this one. Go ahead and throw it in the comments because you know the answer and you're probably right. They pull out this guy right here, their phone, and then they look at real estate apps like Zillow. And it makes sense. When you're looking for a product, any product, it could be a vacuum cleaner. You pull out your phone and you start looking at said product, right? You go to Zillow.com, you go to realtor.com, all the different sites, maybe even my site. You save some favorite homes, send some links to your spouse or your parents, and then poof, one pops up that's perfect. Honey, it's the one. We gotta get out there and see it. It's got the kitchen we want. It's got the private yard we want, the finished basement, whatever's making it right for you. So maybe we should hit contact agent on the Zillow app. So typically for most people, the first person in a real estate transaction you deal with is a real estate agent. And I'm not here to hate on agents. I love real estate agents. There are a lot of great ones out there, but there are a lot of mediocre to poor ones out there too. And the timing is perfect. You have to be out of your place in 30 to 45 days. This thing just popped on the market. Everything seems on the up and up, but a couple of things here. First, 71% of real estate agents did not sell a home in 2024. Are you getting one of those real estate agents where you're someone's accidental sale instead of purposeful sale? Are you setting yourself up to be someone's one and only transaction in 2025? And let me ask you, if that's the case, if you are someone's only transaction or one of 2 or 3 transactions, will that be a smoother and less stressful transaction than someone who routinely sells 20 to 40 homes every year? Probably not. So Zillow is connecting you with the person that literally is buying your phone call. You are now a lead in someone's system. And that's problem number 1. You don't have any frame of reference for who's actually answering the phone. Do they have reviews? How long have they been in the business? How many homes per year do they sell? Are they knowledgeable beyond the ability to just open up a lockbox? And that leads me to part 2 of mistake number 1. In 2020 and 2021, there were a ton of homes hitting the market every single day. There was always another house. Today, we're at the lowest number of homes on the market since 1995. So, same scenario. You see that perfect home, you're 30 to 45 days out from having to pack it all up and make a move, you go see the home, and there are a list of potential problems that can happen. Any one of them will put you way outside that 30 to 45 day time frame that you need to move in. Number 1, If it's the right home for you, it's probably going to be the right home for at least 3 to 5 other people as well. I even said it right here in this clip on Fox 2 in Detroit. Listen in.
If somebody came to you today, what would your advice to them be?
I would say, first, let's get out and look at properties early because there are so few of them. It'll take 30 to 60 days for the right home just to come on the market.
Right.
When it does, get it fast because if it's the right home for you, it's going to be the right home for 3 or 4 other people as well. Is that agent skilled in winning multiple offers while not having you pay the highest price to get it? If there are 4 offers, there's a 25% chance of getting it, or really less. Rates are high, and I always at least try to start out a buyer, my own self, family, friends included, with a lender because at a 6.5 to 7% rate, there's a lot of sticker shock on the monthly payment. You need this information before you go see a home and fall in love with it. Then all of a sudden you're paying $500 to $1,000 more per month than you thought it would be. Then there's the inspection. A lot of owners don't maintain their homes nearly as well as they should. And I don't fault them because in today's day and age, I see a lot of homes that look nice on the surface, but they've got some pretty big issues underneath. That could be radon or mold or foundation issues. So then we back out of the deal. Next up, you've got the appraisal. What happens if that comes in low and the seller won't move on the price and you don't have the cash to make up the difference, even if you wanted to? And then at the very start of the negotiation, let's go all the way back to the beginning. What if this seller needs 30, 60, or even 90 days after closing because they need to find their next home? Any one of these things, if you wait too long to start looking for homes, means that you are re-signing a lease again, or you're missing the deadline to sign your kids up for the new school district, and you're moving them midway through the year instead of right there at the start, and you want to avoid it. Stick to the end of the video because I'm going to also go over a good timeline my best clients are using right now in this very tight market. But cutting to that punchline, from 2008 to about 2019, the finding of the right home took about a week, sometimes as much as 10 days. Today, I'm counseling buyers to start their search 90 or even 120 days before they have to be in that home. 45 days just to find the right home because we're in a hurry up and wait kind of environment, kind of market. 30 days to close because it's a mortgage and it takes 20 to 40 days. And 30 to 45, sometimes 60 days for the seller side occupancy so that they can find and close on their next home. For our people with school-age children that want to be in their home in August, I would advise interviewing agents and actually sitting down and conducting interviews, because who you choose matters, right around April 1st to April 15th and start seeing homes roughly the 15th of that same month. I know that seems like it's super far out, but the time goes a lot faster than we think. And if you're looking for support and resources and info on buying or selling a home or about an area in Metro Detroit, scroll my channel. I've got a lot of free resources like our video on new construction final walkthroughs, the 39 seller mistakes, what's going to happen with the economy locally and nationally on areas like Milford or Royal Oak or Rochester or Novi or Northville. Moving on to buyer mistake number 2, and this one, most people who do this never actually find out this is a buyer mistake. And while ignorance is bliss, my friends, I would rather you have these dollars that this mistake, by avoiding it, can save you every single month back in your pocket. And I'm talking about paying too high of an interest rate and being sure that you are in the exact right loan product for you, not the one the lender has available that kicks you up to a higher rate. So here's a real life example for one of my own personal clients. I'm working with a buyer called Betty. Her name really isn't Betty, but I'm a big fan of Betty White, and with that said, my grandmother's name was also Betty, so we're gonna go with Betty. So Betty called me from my YouTube channel, which is great, and because she called me from my YouTube channel, I can send her wherever I want to for a loan. That said, depending on where you sign up or what website you sign up on, there are certain lenders that agents are obligated to send you to because of where they got you. The lead, and again, I hate the term lead, these are people and humans and families and children, and they're people. But because of how you signed up and got in contact with that agent, whatever medium that was, they may have to send you to a specific lender. So through Zillow, you'll be pushed to use Zillow Mortgage. Redfin, you'll be pushed to use Redfin Mortgage. Open Door Mortgage. Do they all have good products? Of course they do, yes. Are they always the best product for every single buyer? No. These are big box mortgage brokers with a few products that are one size fits about half. Not even one size fits all, not even one size fits 75%. They're gonna shoehorn you into a loan even though it could have higher rates and higher closing costs than another product that fits your personal situation better. Contacting an agent directly, like through someone's YouTube channel, like Betty did with us, I get to send them wherever I want. So Betty, come to find out, before finding my YouTube channel and calling me, did meet another agent who sent her over to lender A. I'm not gonna call anyone out here. I'm not gonna call out the agent, not gonna call out the lender. He quoted her a rate of 6.875%, but also said several times, call me if you get a better quote on the rate. I'll match it. Guys, if you're the best rate as a lender, you know you're the best rate. And you don't say that. He said things like, if you shop me around, give me a heads up. By the way, anytime a lender says that, they are not the best rate and cost, and you do want to shop them around. Oh, and I want to note, instead of running out and showing a home like the other agent did, I do want to say I took the time to get on a Zoom with Betty and her husband. They were moving in from out of area, so Zoom was the best method. I wanted to get to know them. I wanted to see what they needed out of their next home and fully go over the whole process so they didn't have any surprises. During that time, I found out Betty was a doctor. That's pretty cool. Also, that said, if you need a good agent referral, I mean someone vetted anywhere in the United States, if you're not looking at Metro Detroit, feel free to reach out to me. We have great contacts and friends that do a fantastic job that has actually helped out my own family members across the US, and I'd be happy to put you in contact with the right person in any state. And of course, if you're looking for a real estate agent in like Metro Detroit or Ann Arbor, I mean, you know, shameless plug. Okay, talking to Betty, I found out she's a doctor. Now I can guide her better. So I took her to a different lender that specializes in doctor's loans and got her a new quote that came out at 6.4%. That's almost a half point. That's a 0.45% difference. This seems marginal, but let this play out. And in this example, she's a doctor, but I've seen this happen hundreds of times with a quarter point here or a half point there, and it can really make a big difference. Taking a look here, they're looking for a home about $450,000 and putting 5% down. At 6.875%, and I'm excluding taxes and insurance for the sake of this example, her payment would be $2,808. To get a more accurate picture, I'm gonna go ahead and add back in taxes at, let's say, $500 per month and insurance at, let's say, $100 a month. I'm gonna also add in PMI at $125 per month. Okay, so all in, her payment would be about $3,533. Now, just by understanding a little more about her situation and shopping around that lender and getting that better rate, it drops her payment to $33.99, saving her $134 a month. Now that might not seem like a lot of money to some people, but that's a reasonable dinner out in today's day and age. I mean, no appetizer, no dessert, but that's also $1,600 per year. But let's say she makes every payment on time for 30 years and stays in this home, which is probably not gonna happen. Like they already told me this was a stepping stone home. And I do believe in making extra payments, especially in the beginning, to pay a lot less interest. But let's say they just make every payment on time. They're gonna pay $583,000 in interest. So over the life of the loan, that's about $48,000 saved just by taking another 5-minute phone call. And sometimes it's really hard because people want to use friends even if they don't have all the programs or the best program for them, and buyers will fight me on taking a second look at their loan situation. And that's okay, but still worth the 5 minutes to double check, because this is business and you got to be sure you're taking care of your pocketbook, your family, and you're getting service at the highest level. That's the priority. Before we get to the last mistake, if you have not subscribed to the channel yet, hit that subscribe button. And please hit the like button so that more people buying a home will get this needed information. Also, we've got over 3,000 5-star reviews between Google and Zillow from our past clients. My agents are trained to be knowledgeable, patient, and transparent in a space, in an industry that is notorious for being the exact opposite. I'd love the chance to chat with you for a few minutes and earn your trust and earn your business when you're buying your next home. Okay, the last mistake I see buyers make all the time is not looking at the whole picture, at looking at all of the numbers when buying a home. And I don't blame you. When you go to Zillow.com or Realtor.com or any of those other websites, here's what they do to trick you. Let's say you're looking for a house in, I don't know, South Lyon. So let's zoom in there on Zillow, and let's say you find a home here and you're like, yep, this is a nice part of the city, but let's go over here and look, here's one on Royce for $500,000. It looks nice. And look at what we got going on here. A nice looking monthly payment of $3,273. I mean, let's be real, that's a high payment, guys. Rates are high right now. I do not want to sound tone deaf, but they're going to give you that teaser monthly payment to get you to click the pre-qualified button here. And then let's scroll down, look down here. You're getting yet a different number under this monthly payment section, and it's even lower because they're really wanting you to click that Zillow Home Loans button. Why are these numbers different? Because they're leaving something out. And surprise, surprise, you have a higher payment now. So let's break down how a mortgage works. There are 5 parts in a loan. First one is the principal. Then there's your interest, your property taxes, more on this and why Zillow is always way off in just a moment, Then you've got your home insurance, otherwise known as your hazard insurance, also called HI. And if you're less than 20% down, your PMI or MIP, depending on if you're getting a conventional loan or an FHA mortgage. But also what's not included in this number is typically the HOA. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. It's hit or miss with Zillow, Homeowners Association. And if you're looking at HOA homes or condos, that's definitely a cost you want to include in the monthly payment. And then what a lot of people don't talk about is ongoing maintenance. A house like this is going to cost someone about 0.5% per year, about 0.5% per year if you stretch out all the expenses over 20 years. And I mean some of the big ones like roofs or windows or furnace. It'll cover the need to have but not nice to have things like kitchen, bathrooms, new carpet, new paint. So we're going to want to add another $200 per month, at least in our minds, or $2,400 per year to the payment, which comes out to about $48,000 over 20 years. That'll be enough for this home to cover the roof, the windows, the HVAC. Now that's about right for this home. So the roof, when it does come due, will probably cost about $25,000 to $30,000. So this home has an association fee of $360 per year or $30 more per month, which Zillow did actually include on this one. Most of the time, the software misses it. And looking at the taxes on Zillow, they have them set at a flat $400 per month. That's a pretty unusual number to have like an even number for taxes. That should definitely be a red flag. And for me, it was. So looking at public record at this home, they're actually $10,938 per year, right from the listing, which pulls right from public record. And a lot of people want to make extra payments to accelerate the mortgage. So let's go ahead and look at the real numbers. For this home, Zillow is saying it's going to be $3,273 or $3,160 per month. But adjusting up for what the taxes really are, the real payment, we've got to add $511 per month. So that brings those two numbers to $3,671 or $3,784. And the extra payments, while advised, are optional. So we'll just leave those out for now. Add in the $200 for maintenance. And if you want to, throw a few bucks extra on the mortgage, maybe not full payments, but just a few bucks. Now we're at $4,000 per month. That's a lot higher than Zillow is advertising out there, is putting out there. So bear in mind, when you're looking on those websites, they're gonna skew the payment down to make it look so good. And don't forget, less than 20% down, you're still paying mortgage insurance, which is a percentage of the loan. And let's get that formula up on the screen. I see it typically somewhere between $100 to $300 per month as being normal, depending on your credit and which type of loan you're getting. So I can't tell you how many times I've had this conversation about affordability, and people say, well, Zillow says the house will be like $2,000 a month. And this is perfect. And I know they're looking at a $400,000 house. And I know that especially after talking through the different down payment situations, looking at actual taxes and actual other costs, it's just not the case. And going back to agents that are simply just hungry and want to make a sale at any cost, most are just going to nod, smile, gloss over it, and then you get smacked between the eyes after you fall in love with a home that $500 to $1,000 per month more than you wanted to or can spend. Then you say, well, I do need to stay in the $2,000 range as far as a payment goes. So they send you more homes that actually fit your budget, and guess what? They're uglier, they're smaller, they don't fit your need the way the more expensive one does. So going back to number one again, you're actually tricking yourself to get stuck with that higher monthly payment that you either can't or don't want to afford, because if you're paying the mortgage payment, that means you're missing a payment somewhere else, but you're qualified for it. Remember, what you qualify for and what you can afford and maintain the lifestyle you want without being absolutely house poor are usually pretty drastically different numbers. So quick example, let's say you make $8,000 per month gross, pre-tax income. They might qualify you for $3,500 to $4,000 per month. That's pretty typical. But if you follow the rule I advise buyers to use, the 28% rule, using up to but not to exceed 28% of your gross income towards a home payment, that now becomes $2,240 per month. Definitely not $3,500. And that includes taxes, insurance, and everything else we talked about. So if you're looking at houses or you're about to look at houses, talk to a lender or call me and I can run the numbers. I don't do loans personally, but I am a licensed mortgage broker. I got it so I can be better and be more knowledgeable for my clients, and I can protect them better. I'd rather you start looking at the right homes with the right monthly payment expectations with no surprises. I want you to avoid the trap of the mortgage being 40 or even 45% of your gross income or 65% of your income after you pay taxes, because then You can't save as much as before. You can't travel as much as before. You can't put your kids into as many sports as you might want. And now you're just living to make that house payment. And that is not something I wish on anyone, my friends. Also, I made this video a while back with a whole slew of home buyer mistakes to avoid, and it still holds water. This is a great next video to watch, or this one here if you're considering new constructions on red flags for builders. My name is Mike Perna. Thank you again for taking the time to watch and come along this journey with me. Please subscribe if you haven't done that yet. We drop videos every single week. Don't forget to like this video and give me a call when you're looking to buy your next home, and I'm gonna see you on the next video.